Hi, I'm Dave from More Bees Please. I look after the hives at It's Interventional. So the hives there are really good strong colonies. There's about 70,000 bees in each hive, I'd say. They've thrived there, so they are nice big strong colonies, which is what we like. So I look after, I've got about 200 hives around South Yorkshire that I look after. Got them all over South Yorkshire, got a few into Derbyshire, a few into Nottingham as well. So bees will travel in any direction up to 3 kilometres to find food, so it's quite a big radius that they'll travel, big area. They can travel further than that if they need to, but it's not optimum for the bees, so they're wasting more energy than they're producing by travelling further. So it is important when you're placing a beehive somewhere to make sure the area can support the bees. What you don't want to do as well is put other pollinators at risk by having too many honeybees in a certain area. So the honeybees will collect between 300 and 500 pounds of nectar per year. They collect the nectar from the flowers, reduce the water content down by dehydrating it, turn it into honey. Use the honey for their stores for winter, and as beekeepers we keep honeybees and we take that surplus honey because they do make more than they need. So a good hive can produce about maybe £100 of surplus honey on a very good year. You need a lot of conditions. You need weather in your favour at the right time, not too sunny that plants dry out, not too much rain. So it does vary year to year, but they can make a decent amount of surplus honey. So honeybees, when they hatch, in summer they hatch and they'll live for about 6 weeks, and they basically work themselves to death. They start out as young bees, they have cleaning duties in the hive, then become nurse bees, looking after the younger ones, feeding them, all that kind of thing. They then become guard bees, and finally about 4 weeks old through summer they become flying bees. That's when they start leaving the hives and going out collecting nectar, pollen, water, tree sap, other things that they need for the hive, and they literally in that 2 weeks work themselves to death, and they're exhausted after that 2 weeks. Whereas in winter the bees can live 5 or 6 months because they're not out flying every day, so there's quite a big difference in the life cycle of a bee. So I already mentioned about bees, they'll travel up to 3 miles for searching for nectar and pollen for the hive. Optimum range is about a mile. You don't want to travel much more than that really to be finding pollen and nectar, because there's so many bees in a good colony. They literally, if you added up the mileage that they cover, then a beehive would fly the distance equivalent to the Earth to the Moon every single day, which is quite an impressive distance that they cover. So what makes a good area for a beehive? I would say somewhere that's got a bit of shelter, so a bit of a windbreak, but it also needs to be in sun. The bees don't really start working in the morning until the hive warms up, so early sun's really good for them, and they do want sun throughout the day. They don't have to be in full sun, but it is good to, it is important they do get some sun through the day. Regards to other things, they need a water source nearby ideally, so that they're not having to go out and collect water all the time from somewhere else. You don't want them wasting energy collecting water. You want them concentrating on just collecting nectar and pollen and stuff. So we do try and give them a water source whenever we can. You can do that with a little tray, put some pebbles in so they don't drown. And it's important that they've got plenty of forage in that area. So we do try and make sure that all those hives are in good areas that's supported and not overpopulated with too many honeybees. What we don't want to do is make it difficult for other types of bees to thrive. We do care about the bees and we want the best for the environment, so it is important to support other pollinators as well. So what people can do to support beehives and bees is plant as much as you can in your gardens, basically. Going for walks, spread some wildflower seeds, plant stuff in your gardens. That's the best thing everybody can do, is just plant as much as you can. It's good to have a good range. So honeybees need all kinds of different pollens and nectars throughout the year. They do struggle early on in spring and into autumn. Through the summer there is a lot of stuff about for them, so they don't tend to struggle then. Early on in spring, dandelions are a fantastic source of protein for the bees. As they're building up their hive, they've got more baby bees being laid, or more eggs being laid, more bees hatching, so they need more protein. So that's why a lot of councils, including Sheffield, they don't mow the grass verges early on, let the dandelions grow, and that's for the benefit of the bees, which is a fantastic thing to do, and it makes such a difference for them. So yeah, if you can keep doing the no mow May, it really does help the bees, which is what we're trying to do. The best thing about being a beekeeper is being outside, working with bees, working in lots of different locations. So I'm in Manchester today, working on rooftop, and this is the view from my office today, which is fantastic.